Alright, this is like the 8th time I shot this video, so I'm going to make it real quick because I just want to get one out there. Anyways, how you guys doing? Hope the coronavirus hasn't killed anybody you know, and I hope you're having fun. Either way, we got the regions coming up, we got to move. Tokugawa. Today all you want you get is Tokugawa. Tokugawa is a major daimyo from Japan, which is basically a noble. He wants to be shogun really bad. At this point in time, after Oda goes away and dies, Hideyoshi winds up taking, or Hideyoshi Tomotomi winds up taking over Japan. Don't worry about all the fancy names. They're not important. Tokugawa is the name to know. Tokugawa. If you remember Tokugawa after the end of this video, that's great. It's great. He's the one who shows up the regents. He's the one they're going to ask questions about. Don't worry about anybody else. So, Hideyoshi is the main boss at this point, though, and Tokugawa is the number 2 man in charge. The most important guy underneath the boss. But he's not actually a member of Hideyoshi's family. He's an outsider with his own friends and everything like that. So, sort of a rival in the number 2 spot. Either way, Hideyoshi decides in order to combine everybody and get everyone on the same page and bring unity to Japan, he'll bring all his warriors together and they'll invade Korea. Korea's got these intense sort of like RPGs from the ancient world. They're bottle rockets that are hooked up in these cages, and then you line them all up by like 100 to 1,000, but usually about 100. And you have these humongous metal stakes that are basically giant metal spears attached to them. So the bottle rocket will shoot these bad boys off. If the spear doesn't kill you, then hopefully the explosion does. Either way, they link all of the fuses up, so there's like cages of them. Think of like taped together bottle rockets. You know, all the bottles all taped together, and you fill them up with rockets, and all the fuses come together so you can light them at one time and shoot them off at once, sort of like an ancient machine gun / RPG, whatever. So yeah. So Japan, although Japan's winning, it's no cakewalk. And at one point, there's a major samurai surrounded on all sides by these cages of flying destruction. And his people are getting blown up left and right or whatever. Hideyoshi's a nephew who's there. Hideyoshi's the main boss, his nephew is watching this go down with all the other samurai, and they're like, oh man, he's surrounded on all sides, there's nothing to be done, this guy's going to die, the Koreans are going to get him. Well, let's plan for the next invasion, let's slowly move up our forces and get ready to siege this town, because they got a lot of stuff. We'll starve them out. And if they charge us, then we'll fight them out straight. But we'll get away from their cages. Hideyoshi's nephew says, no, we can take him. We can save this guy right now. He doesn't have to die. And he gets on his horse, and he yells for his cavalry, his horsemen, to come with him. And they all charge down the hill, and they push their way into where the samurai and his men are, and they pull all these soldiers up on their horses, and he races back out. 100 chance, but he makes it out. He's alive. He wins the day. He's a hero in his mind. He's like waiting for everyone to congratulate him. They do not congratulate him. He's a young guy, and the others saw him as impetuous and far too much of a risk taker. And the order went out, well, let's set up for the siege. So they said, well, he broke with what we're doing. He's too young and impetuous. He can't lead men. If he's going to gain back his family army, he should commit seppuku. All stabby, out with the guts and harikari and whatnot. So everyone gets together and they're arguing about this thing, and they wonder what on earth are we going to do. But they're about to order him. Hideyoshi's about to order him to commit suicide. He doesn't want to do it, but he agrees with his underlings, especially since this whole trip is about unity. This whole trip is about bringing Japan together. So to go against his underlings now is to potentially push them towards Tokugawa's side, and maybe when he dies, Tokugawa can start civil war. Maybe before he dies, he starts civil war and tries to take the throne. Which is exactly what's going to happen. But, I mean, after Hideyoshi dies, Tokugawa will go for it. But Tokugawa does a really weird thing here. He actually sides with the kid. He was fairly anti-seppuku harikari. He wasn't against the policy overall, but he thought it had to be a very extreme situation. Had to be a very extreme situation in order for it to be necessary for someone to commit harikari seppuku. He forgives his son later on. He forgives another son of his before that. He began an underling of hymns before that. If you read the Oda rating, I know you all did. Thank you, Jaden. If you read that Oda reading, he was very weary of the fact that the samurai were so unforgiving in some scenarios that it caused huge rifts between former friends like Akechi and Oda. Akechi, by the way, is the inspiration for Darth Vader. Oda's sister marries Hideyoshi, the guy we're talking about now with Togawa. And when you are a major priestess in Japan, like in the highest level of Buddhism, they give you a term in front of your name, like Pope would be like, you know, a Catholic version or whatever, or Cardinal or whatever, and what they put a Y in front of your name. So Lady Oda becomes Lady Yoda. And sort of the samurai thing to Star Wars. Either way, you don't even know about that. The main point here, again, back to Togawa, is Togawa goes against what everybody else thinks should happen to this kid and says the kid was brave, and that's part of Bushido, that's part of the samurai code. 2, what he did works. He successfully pulled it off. Maybe it was risky, but he did it. Maybe you thought he shouldn't have done it, but he did it and it worked out great. Why should he commit suicide when what he did was win? He had victory. And that's everything. All that matters is he won. Everything else, irrelevant. Irrelevant that he was risky, because he's successful. He speaks up for the kid. He gets some of his buddies to speak up for the kid. And in the end, Hideyoshi has an excuse to let the kid live. This does a few things. 1, some of Hideyoshi's friends start to think he's a little dishonorable, that he shouldn't have done that he should have the kid killed. They're a little humiliated. And so they move away from him a little bit. 2, Hideyoshi's nephew is put in a really weird situation. Later on, Hideyoshi will die, and Hideyoshi's nephew will be in charge of Hideyoshi's army. But he's got a choice. When Togawa tries to become the leader of the country, does he side with his family, who ordered his death, or was going to order his death, and his family's friends, almost all of which order his death, and very disappointed when he wasn't killed? Or does he go with the guy who's against his family, but who saved his life, and took a real interest in him, and sort of mentored him since then, for years? I think Togawa knew what he was doing. What would you guys do? In all sincerity, would you go with the guy? You just put a comment at the bottom of it, and we'll do that for homework for today. Put a comment at the bottom of the video. Would you side with the man who saved you, or with your family and family friends? Okay.